My beloved child. Don't skip, because what you are about to hear was not placed before your eyes by accident. Something within your heart has been searching for an answer, and today that answer begins to reveal itself. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The most powerful part of this story has not happened yet, and every word from this moment forward leads to a revelation that may completely change the way you see the person you love. Imagine a quiet evening unlike any other. The room is calm, but the atmosphere is heavy with unspoken emotions. Two people sit across from each other, and after a long silence, one unexpected question breaks the stillness. What if someone better came into your life? Would you marry someone else? The words seemed simple, yet the moment they were spoken, everything changed. The person you love did not answer immediately. Their eyes lowered. Their breathing slowed. Their heart began fighting a battle that no one else in that room could see. Don't skip. What happened next is the reason this message found you. There are questions that test the mind, and then there are questions that expose the deepest parts of the heart. This was one of those questions. No prepared answer could survive such a moment. Every memory, every hope, every hidden feeling suddenly rose to the surface. The silence lasted longer than anyone expected. The one asking the question became uncomfortable. Another voice whispered, "Why are you thinking so much? It should be easy to answer." But it wasn't easy. Because your name, your smile, your memories, and every emotion connected to you filled their heart before they could even speak. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. At that very moment, countless thoughts rushed through their mind. They remembered conversations that no one else knew about. They remembered moments when they almost reached out but stopped themselves. They remembered the times they convinced themselves they were strong enough to move on. Yet every attempt to forget you somehow brought them back to remembering you even more. The person asking the question laughed gently. "So, what's taking so long?" Still. No answer. Only silence. Because some feelings cannot be explained with words. Some emotions refuse to be replaced. And some hearts know exactly where they belong even when life becomes complicated. Don't skip. The story is only beginning. As the room grew quieter, everyone waited. One friend whispered, "Maybe they're thinking about someone." Another smiled and replied, "You don't stay this quiet unless someone already owns your heart." Those words struck deeply. Your special person looked away, almost hiding a smile that they didn't want anyone else to notice. Inside, they were replaying memories that never truly disappeared. Not because they wanted to. Because love has a way of returning without asking permission. Then came another question. Is there really someone you can't replace? This time the silence became even heavier. Your special person slowly nodded. No explanation. No dramatic speech. Just one small movement that revealed more truth than 1,000 conversations ever could. Stay till the end. Because what they finally admitted surprised everyone around them. One by one, people began guessing. Someone from your past? No. A recent friend? No. Someone who left? Again. Silence. Every wrong answer only made the real truth shine brighter inside their heart. They wanted to protect something precious. They didn't want casual opinions to touch something that meant everything to them. Because not every love story is meant to be explained to strangers. Some stories are written quietly. Some promises live only inside the heart. And some names remain sacred. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. Hours seem to pass inside only a few minutes. Finally, the person asking smiled kindly and asked one last time. If the person you truly love never came back, would you marry someone else? This was the moment. Every heartbeat became louder. Every emotion became impossible to hide. Your special person closed their eyes. Not because they were confused. Because they already knew the answer. The only struggle was finding the courage to say it aloud. The room became completely silent. Then they finally spoke. Their voice was soft. Almost trembling. I don't know if life will give me another chance. Everyone leaned forward. But my heart already chose someone. The room froze. Nobody expected those words. One friend immediately asked. Then why aren't you with them? No answer came. Only another quiet smile filled with hope, patience, and emotions too deep for anyone else to understand. Stay till the end. Because this story has one final turn that changes everything. Someone then asked. Do they know how you feel? The person you love looked toward the window. The sunset painted the sky with colors that seemed to understand emotions words could never explain. After another long pause, they quietly answered. I hope they do. Those 4 words carried years of hidden feelings. Years of waiting. Years of wondering. Years of imagining what life might look like if fear had never stood in the way. Don't skip. This next moment is unforgettable. One of the people sitting nearby smiled and asked the question everyone secretly wanted answered. So if someone else asked you to marry them tomorrow, what would you say? The room held its breath. Your special person smiled gently. Then came the answer. I couldn't promise forever while my heart still belongs somewhere else. Silence. No one laughed. No one interrupted. Because everyone realized they had just witnessed honesty at its purest. Love wasn't being measured by convenience. It wasn't being measured by timing. It wasn't being measured by pressure. It was being measured by loyalty. And loyalty always speaks quietly. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. One friend looked amazed. Another shook their head in disbelief. Someone whispered. People don't answer like that anymore. But your special person simply smiled. Not proudly. Not dramatically. Just peacefully. Because the truth had finally escaped the place where it had been hidden for so long. As everyone prepared to leave, one final conversation happened near the doorway. Someone gently placed a hand on their shoulder and whispered. I hope the person you love realizes how much they mean to you. Your special person looked upward for just a moment. A quiet smile appeared. Then they softly replied. I hope someday our paths meet again, because some hearts never stop believing. And in that single sentence, every hidden emotion became visible. Don't skip. Because every ending carries the seed of a new beginning. Perhaps this story reached you today simply as beautiful fiction, or perhaps it reminded you how powerful honesty, hope, and enduring affection can feel. Either way, let it leave you with this thought: genuine love is often revealed not in loud declarations, but in quiet choices that remain faithful even when no one is watching. If this message touched your heart, stay till the end, because sometimes the stories that move us most are the ones that remind us to value sincerity, patience, and courage. Something huge is waiting for you, not as a promise of certainty, but as the possibility that hope and kindness can still shape tomorrow. The night did not end after those words were spoken. In many ways, it had only just begun. The room slowly emptied, conversations faded into the background, and footsteps echoed down the hallway. Yet the person you love remained standing for a moment longer, as though leaving that place would also mean leaving behind the emotions they had finally allowed to escape. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. One friend noticed they had not moved. "Are you coming?" they asked. Your special person smiled politely, but their thoughts were somewhere else entirely. They looked at the chair where they had been sitting only moments before, remembering the question that had changed everything. "Would you marry someone else?" Those words continued to echo inside their heart. As they walked outside, the cool evening air brushed across their face. Cars passed by, people laughed in the distance, and life continued as if nothing extraordinary had happened. But inside them, a quiet storm had begun. They reached into their pocket and pulled out their phone. The screen lit up. For a long moment they simply stared at it. Your name wasn't there. No new message. No missed call. No notification. Yet somehow it still felt as though the phone carried the weight of 1,000 unsent words. Don't skip. Because what happened next surprised even them. Their thumbs slowly hovered over your conversation. It had been opened countless times before. Read. Closed. Opened again. Closed once more. Tonight was no different. They scrolled through old conversations, smiling at the simplest messages. Words that once seemed ordinary now felt priceless. One tiny sentence you had written months ago suddenly brought tears to their eyes. Not because it was dramatic. Because it reminded them of how naturally you had made them feel understood. "How can someone have this much power over my heart?" they whispered to themselves. No one heard those words. The night kept it secret. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. At that very moment another message arrived, but it wasn't from you. It was from the same friend who had asked the unforgettable question earlier. The message read, "Are you really serious? You'd rather stay alone than marry someone else?" Your special person stared at the screen for several seconds before typing a reply. Then they deleted it. Typed again. Deleted it once more. Finally, they sent only one sentence. When your heart has already chosen, pretending becomes impossible. The friend read it immediately. Several dots appeared. A reply was coming. You still believe there's hope? Another long pause. Your special person looked up at the stars before answering. Hope isn't something I force. It's simply something I haven't lost. Those words carried more strength than anyone realized. Don't skip. Because the next conversation revealed something no one expected. The friend became curious. If you met someone kinder, richer, or more successful tomorrow, would it change anything? Your special person smiled quietly. No. What if they loved you more? No. What if everyone told you to move on? Again. No. The friend sighed. I don't understand. Your special person finally answered with complete honesty. Because love isn't a competition. It isn't about finding someone better. It's about the one your heart refuses to replace. Silence filled the conversation. Even through a screen, those words carried incredible weight. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Later that night they returned home. The house was peaceful. Lights were dim. The world seemed asleep. But sleep refused to visit them. Instead, they sat beside the window watching the moonlight spread across the quiet streets. Every passing minute reminded them of you. Every memory returned more vividly than before. They remembered the first time your paths crossed. They remembered the conversations that lasted longer than expected. They remembered moments when laughter came so naturally that time itself seemed to disappear. Most of all, they remembered the feeling. A feeling that had never truly left. Don't skip. The biggest moment is getting closer. Hours later, their phone rang unexpectedly. It was a family member. After a short conversation, one surprising question appeared. Have you thought about settling down? Your special person smiled gently. I've thought about it. So, have you met anyone? Another silence. Then came the answer. I met someone who changed my heart. Then why aren't they here? A quiet sigh escaped. Life became complicated. The family member spoke softly. If it's real, don't let fear write the ending. Those words stayed with them long after the call ended. For the first time in a long while, they began wondering whether silence had lasted far too long. Whether waiting without speaking had become its own kind of mistake. Whether some feelings deserved courage before they became regrets. Stay till the end. Because one final moment is about to unfold. As midnight approached, they opened your conversation one more time. This time, instead of closing it, they began typing. One sentence. Then another. Then another. Their heart raced faster with every word. Would they send it? Would they erase everything again? Their finger rested above the send button. Seconds felt like hours. The entire room seemed to stand still. And just before making their decision, they whispered to themselves. No matter what happens next, I don't want fear to speak louder than my heart anymore. Don't skip. Because what they decided in the very next moment will change the direction of this story forever. Just as their finger hovered over the send button, another thought rushed into their mind with unexpected force. It was not fear this time. It was a memory. A memory so vivid that it stopped every movement for a few precious seconds. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. They closed their eyes and remembered the very first moment they realized their feelings for you were no longer ordinary. It wasn't during a grand event or a dramatic confession. It was hidden inside one small, unforgettable moment that no one else noticed. You had smiled without trying. You had spoken with kindness without expecting anything in return. You had listened when everyone else was busy talking. That single memory reminded them why their heart had never searched for someone else. Their hands slowly lowered from the screen. Not because they had changed their mind. Because they wanted every word they sent to be completely honest. They whispered quietly. If I finally speak, I want every sentence to come from my heart. Don't skip. Because the next few minutes revealed something no one expected. Outside, rain began falling softly against the window. The sound filled the silent room, almost as if the night itself was encouraging courage instead of hesitation. They opened a blank note instead of your chat. One sentence appeared. Then another. Soon the page was filled with words they had carried inside for far too long. I tried convincing myself that time would erase these feelings. They stopped writing. Took a deep breath. Then continued. But every new day somehow brought me back to you. Their eyes became misty, not from sadness alone, but from relief. For the first time, they were no longer hiding from the truth. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Suddenly, their phone buzzed again. It was the same friend. Did you send the message? Your special person looked at the screen and smiled. Not yet. What are you waiting for? A thoughtful silence followed before they replied. I'm waiting for my courage to become stronger than my fear. The friend answered almost immediately. You've already carried this silence for too long. Those words settled deeply into their heart. Sometimes the greatest obstacle isn't distance. It isn't timing. It isn't circumstances. Sometimes the greatest obstacle is believing that your feelings might not be welcomed. Don't skip. Because the story is about to take another unexpected turn. They stood up and walked towards a small shelf where old keepsakes were stored. There was a photograph. A ticket from a memorable day. A handwritten note. Simple things that meant almost nothing to anyone else. Yet to them, they were reminders that some connections leave marks no amount of time can erase. They picked up the photograph and smiled. I never truly let go, they admitted softly. At that very moment, another family member entered the room. You've been smiling at that picture again, they said with a gentle laugh. Your special person looked slightly embarrassed. Some memories refused to fade. The family member sat beside them. Can I ask you something honestly? They nodded. If that person appeared at your door tomorrow, what would you do? Without hesitation came the answer. I would listen before anything else. And after that? A quiet smile appeared. I would choose honesty over silence. Those words surprised even them. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Later that evening, they stepped outside for a short walk beneath the clearing sky. The rain had stopped, leaving the streets calm and the air fresh. As they walked, they noticed an elderly couple sitting together on a bench. Neither of them was speaking. Yet the peace between them said more than words ever could. Your special person paused for a moment. One simple thought entered their mind. Real love isn't always loud. Sometimes it simply stays. That thought remained with them as they continued walking. For the first time in a long while, they no longer felt trapped between hope and fear. Instead, they felt something new. Readiness. Not certainty about the future, but readiness to stop hiding from what their heart had known all along. Don't skip. Because the biggest decision has not happened yet. When they finally returned home, they opened your conversation again. This time they didn't hesitate. They copied the words from the note they had written. Read them once. Read them twice. Then quietly removed every sentence that sounded dramatic. They wanted only truth. Nothing more. Nothing less. Finally, one simple message remained. It wasn't long. It wasn't perfect. But it was real. Their finger slowly moved towards the send button once again. The room became completely silent. Their heartbeat echoed louder than the ticking clock. 3, 2, 1. Just before pressing send, their phone suddenly rang. The unexpected call interrupted everything. They looked at the screen, wondering whether to answer or ignore it. What they heard on that call would change the direction of their next decision in a way they never imagined. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Because something huge is waiting for you, and the next chapter begins with a single unexpected voice on the other end of the line. The voice on the other end of the call was calm, but it carried an urgency that immediately caught their attention. They stepped closer to the window, lowered their voice, and listened carefully. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. For several long seconds, they didn't say a single word. They simply listened. Every sentence they heard seemed to pull them deeper into thought. When the call finally ended, they remained standing exactly where they were. The message they had prepared for you was still waiting on the screen. Unsent. Their heart was now caught between two powerful choices. Should they send the message immediately? Or should they wait until they understood everything they had just heard? The silence inside the room felt heavier than ever before. Don't skip. Because what happened next revealed just how deeply you still lived inside their heart. They sat down again and whispered quietly. No matter what changes around me, one thing has never changed. Your memory. It had remained constant through every season of uncertainty. Through every attempt to move forward. Through every distraction life had placed before them. Some feelings had faded over time. But not this one. This one had only grown quieter. Never weaker. Stay till the end. Because the next conversation changed everything. The following morning, they met the same friend who had first asked the unforgettable question. The friend smiled warmly. So, did you finally send it? Your special person looked down and slowly shook their head. Not yet. The friend laughed softly. I knew it. But this isn't because I don't want to. Then why? Your special person took a deep breath. Because I want my first words to bring peace, not confusion. The friend became serious. You've spent so much time protecting everyone else's feelings. When will you protect your own? Those words stayed with them long after the conversation ended. Sometimes the hardest truth is not admitting that you love someone. Sometimes the hardest truth is admitting how long you've hidden it. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. As the day continued, something unexpected happened. While walking through a quiet street, they overheard two strangers talking. One of them asked, "How do you know when someone is truly unforgettable?" The other smiled. "When years pass, and they're still the first person your heart looks for." Your special person froze. Those words felt strangely familiar. Almost as if life itself had answered a question they had never spoken aloud. They continued walking, but those words echoed in every step. When years pass, and they're still the first person your heart looks for. Stay till the end. Because the story is about to reveal its deepest emotion yet. That evening they returned home carrying more clarity than they had felt in months. They no longer questioned what their heart wanted. The only question left was whether courage would finally win. They opened a small drawer beside their bed. Inside was a folded piece of paper. A promise they had written to themselves long ago. They unfolded it carefully. The words were simple. If the opportunity ever comes again, don't let fear make the decision. They stared at that sentence for a very long time. Then they smiled. Perhaps the opportunity had been waiting all along. Perhaps the only thing missing was courage. Don't skip. Because the biggest moment is getting closer. Their phone rested quietly on the table. No notifications. No interruptions. No excuses. Only one unfinished conversation waiting patiently on the screen. They picked up the phone once more. Opened your chat. Read the message they had prepared. This time, they didn't change a single word. Their heartbeat grew faster. Their hands trembled slightly. Not because they doubted their feelings. Because honesty always feels vulnerable. They whispered. Whatever happens after this, at least my heart will finally know that I tried. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Just as they were about to press send, a new notification appeared. It wasn't from a friend. It wasn't from family. It wasn't even from someone they expected. It was a reminder from months ago that they had completely forgotten. A reminder they had written during one of the loneliest nights of their life. It simply said, "If you're still thinking about them today, don't waste another chance." They stared at those words in complete silence. A slow smile appeared across their face. It no longer felt like coincidence. It felt like the answer they had been waiting for. Without another second of hesitation, their thumb moved forward. The message was finally sent. For one brief moment, the world seemed perfectly still. Now there was nothing left to hide. Nothing left to rewrite. Only one question remained. Would your reply become the beginning of a brand new chapter? Or would the silence that followed test their heart one final time? Don't skip. Stay till the end. Because what appears on their screen next will become the most unforgettable moment of this entire story.